welcome back to Beyond the Gate, our Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Meg.
And today we have the last episode of our podcast for you guys. It's kind of bittersweet, but I'm kind of relieved to be done, but also sad to be, we won't be returning to Brotherhood anymore. And I really like the show, so it's going to be kind of disappointing not to look forward to that every week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In this episode, we're just gonna briefly cover the original FMA, the movies, and then also just like some other extra Brotherhood stuff that's been done.
Yes, and before I forget to mention these things, they're things we couldn't partake in due to time constraints, and also they're very expensive things to get your hands on. But I also wanted to mention there are Full Metal video games for the Wii and DS, and they just came out with a Full Metal Alchemist board game, which I'm itching to get my hands on. But yeah, so there's more things to explore with the story and with the art. But we will begin with talking about the Full Metal Alchemist that came before Brotherhood, and that is one that deviated from the manga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it came out in like
2003?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
And it does follow the manga up until a certain point, but it's deviates pretty quickly because we never even meet like Ling,
There's
and I think that
no
was like
Ling, no Mei.
I don't know,
Yeah, that
early
was pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, main differences I remember from 2003 is, for one, Scar didn't kill Winry's parents.
Mm-hmm.
Roy did. He was under orders, in the military to kill the Rockbells because they were helping Ishvalan, so they were helping the enemy. And he shot them, and he was so guilt-ridden he almost committed suicide. But I was just, I don't know if I liked that take on,
Mm-hmm.
because it's one thing
Yeah.
for Roy to be ordered to kill the Ishvalans who were viewed as a threat to his country when they really weren't. But it's a whole nother thing to have the civilians he's supposed to be protecting and then him being ordered to kill them. And I feel like he would have fought back, you know?
I don't
Maybe.
know. Yeah, I don't know if he would have fought back, but also though I'm like not super surprised that he would be ordered to do that because everything was run by the homunculi and
Yeah.
the Rockbells were saving the Ishwalans, so and
Yeah.
they have no hearts.
I mean, it makes for a really cool redemption arc on Roy's part, and you still kind of get that whole like Winry finding peace and forgiveness. Except I think it's way more impactful with Scar because on that side she's like, oh, Scar is this man who I only know to be bad because he's been killing Amestrians and state alchemists, and I find out he killed my parents. Whereas with Roy, he's proven himself to be a good person, and then you find out about his dark past. So Winry has like all these good deeds that he's done in the present to like go off of and say, I can forgive you for this thing in the past because I know you're making amends now. Whereas with Scar, it's like, you're a terrible person. And I'm not saying I forgive you, but I'm going to make peace in my heart because I can't live with hatred.
Yeah. Another difference is the origin of the homunculi. They're all people.
They're
All like
the transmuted people in the botched human transmutations. I kind
Mhm.
of liked that difference though.
I did too. I think well, Sloth was Edenal's mom.
It was Trisha, yep.
Um
Lust was Scar's brother's girlfriend?
Fiance?
Fiance?
I think it was his fiance. Um uh
Wrath was actually not the Fear. Fear was Pride in that one. And Wrath
mhm.
was Izumi's child that she
Yep.
lost.
Greed. No, Envy was Edenal's brother.
That was the coolest twist. I loved that twist.
Yeah, not by their
Brother
brother,
by
by their
Hohenheim,
yeah, by
and
not by.
a previous relationship with Hohenheim. But the reveal was cool because I mean, you don't see it coming. The only throwaway line you get at the beginning was Envy saying something like, "I don't even remember what I used to look like." Filthy lies. And then Ed and him are having a final battle, and Envy actually like kills, in quotation marks, Ed. But one of the ways he catches Ed off guard is by transforming into what he used to look like, and it's just like this 20-something-year-old version of Ed because, they look just like Hohenheim, and that's when you're like, oh, no way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, was that all of them?
Yeah, we don't know who, so Pride, the Führer, I don't know
Yeah,
who
they
he
never
used to
say
be.
what
They just,
he's. Yeah.
I think,
And was
yeah, I don't know.
there the Gluttony was in it, right?
Yeah, he was still in it, but we never really found out
I
much
don't
about him.
think. Yeah. Just like in this other
Yeah,
one though. I feel like we never learned too much about him.
Lust kind of had a bit of a redemption arc, which was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. Uh, and then yeah, the original it ends with Ed. Yeah, did he like you're
Got
interrupted.
trapped. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, character cap.
from my understanding, Ed was able to travel to our world
Mm-hmm.
and he got trapped there in exchange for getting Al's body back, and Al is back in Amestris. But the series ends, but then there's the movie Conqueror of Shambhala, which really finishes out the series, and Ed and Al are able to reunite with the unfortunate result of them being trapped in our world together and leaving everyone else, including Winry, behind. But at least they're together. Ed
Mm-hmm.
never gets his arm back. So he's got his arm and leg are automail in our world. And what's very fascinating about that movie is they're in the midst of World War II. So I think Hitler is actually in that. Like, he's
Yeah, I remember.
depicted in it.
Yeah.
It's so weird because Ed's like from this place that has alchemy, this kind of magic. And now he's in our world and it's like, I can't do anything here.
Yeah. I don't know. We already mentioned we liked the origin of the homunculi, but I didn't mind what they did in Brotherhood. I think it for the direction that the story went, it made sense.
Yep.
Um, I think in both contexts. Um, oh, I also really like I think we talked about it in earlier episodes, but they took some of those short stories and
Yeah.
animated them. So like the fight between Roy and Ed, they animated that in the original.
And took some
Um,
source material from the light novels and
mhm.
yeah, and they also added some episodes that had more backstory for Ed and Al when they were just getting started on their journey. And
Yep.
there was more time spent with Nina and Hughes. But let's get into what we didn't like because I did not like the Nina episode in 2003 because I was prepared for it. I thought nothing could make me more traumatized than what we had already seen in Brotherhood, but I was wrong because they show her exploded body splattered over the wall after Scar kills her.
Oh
It's
yeah.
horrible.
Yep. And then also they never kill Shao Tucker. He like keeps coming back and he becomes like a weird like mutant like
I
thing.
blocked
It's
that from my memory.
it's
Thank you
really
so much
gross.
for reminding
Well,
me.
I only remembered when you brought up Nina. Um,
Yeah,
it was terrible. Like he just wouldn't die.
and Ed
Um,
was going through so much trauma too. I mean, there's this really sweet scene with him and Ross though, where she was kind of acting almost motherly towards Ed and Al, and she was protecting him. That was kind of sweet. There's more character building. Um, Hohenheim wasn't as cool, and he was just the deadbeat dad in that one. And they had this horrible villain called Dante. I hated her.
mhm.
Um, and
Yeah.
there's just like,
Who was like Hohenheim, where she like
yeah, she was
lived forever,
right.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
What else?
and it was also just it was a lot darker. Like there was an
Oh,
episode with like
totally.
oh the butcher
Oh, Barry the Chopper.
he was alive, and he like he kidnapped Winry and um was gonna kill her, and it was very freaky.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um, what I kind of liked this, but they really emphasized how much pain Ed was in during automail stuff, like replacing it or
yes, they did a
surgery. I
good
was like,
job with
okay,
that.
thank you for emphasizing that because it's kind of mentioned in the manga, but it was cool to see, like, yes, this is something that harms him, and
Hmm.
I wish he could have gotten at least one limb back, but he
Yeah,
didn't. I feel like there was
yeah.
something else I was gonna say about what I didn't like. I don't know, trauma. I think there was another one that crossed the line, and now it's just I don't know.
I don't remember anymore, but those were our thoughts on the original. You don't need to watch it. Um, the
I
Brotherhood is better, and it actually follows the manga a lot more closely. I mean, I didn't hate it, but
no, for sure.
there it's
Oh, I
I
know
don't
the
know.
thing I was gonna say. So Ed's whole stance on he doesn't want to kill people, he still has that, but he ends up killing Greed and feeling terrible about
Oh
it.
yeah.
And it's like this like he ends up he kills more than just Greed in terms of homunculi, but like there's this whole struggle that's going on inside him, and he's like, I can't do this. I can't hurt people. I can't harm them. I can't kill them. This is what have I done? And the adults in his life keep telling him there may come a day where you have to make that hard call to save the people you care about. And like, yeah, that's kind of I mean, that's explored in Brotherhood, and Ed technically never has to make that hard call. But I feel like in Brotherhood he was ready to, even if he didn't want to, but he always
Mm-hmm.
chose the harder path to make sure he didn't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, moving on. We already covered one of the movies, which was just, the end of the 2003 series, but there was a movie made for Brotherhood called Sacred Star of Milos, and it's kind of meant to be taken away from canon because they even changed the animation style to look different. Like, I don't dislike it. It's a little weird to get used to, but it is kind of cool. It's like rounder edges instead of the sharp angular features, like in the character's hair. And then Ed has this cool gradients going on in his eyes where it's the gold, but it fades to green actually. And I don't know, it was just kind of cool to see them looking different.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel confident recapping it? Because I do not.
Oh, not at all. It was just,
Okay.
it was all over the place, but um
uh,
basically the movie is like a little bonus adventure at an Al, like Al's still in the armor, and they meet a girl and help her out in this like underground city, and of course, there's the
mhm.
bad guy they have to defeat, and weird alchemy stuff going on, and somebody's like gone too far, in their experiments and whatnot. Um, just a lot of stuff goes down. Winry makes an appearance in that one. I do remember that.
Yeah, and I remember the girl and Al had a little thing,
That
and that
was
was
so
really
cute.
sweet.
It was so cute. I didn't know I needed it till it happened.
Yeah.
Uh, just a lot of great moments between the characters. I was so happy to hear their voices and see their faces again. Um, and I remember a really cute moment that we were watching it in person together, and I remember you and I just went, oh, because so they were fighting the bad guy, and the girl's shirt got ripped up by him, and Ed just like drapes his cloak over her. Like there's no weirdness about it. He just like wraps her in it. And it's like, what a gentleman.
hmm Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It was fun, but it definitely was, although it was closer to Brotherhood, it was not canon
Nope,
for sure.
nope. And there are still some things where it's like, I don't think they would put this in Brotherhood.
Hmm
Um, which segues into the OVAs because we we actually got to see them. Thank you to our dear listener who sent those over. We very much appreciate it, and you're the best. Um,
Yes, they were so fun.
yeah. So again, these were things where it's like not technically canon, but great character building anyways. So the first one was The Blind Alchemist, and Ed and Al meet another alchemist who has done human transmutation, and seemingly he has succeeded in it. I say seemingly. And I will admit it's been a while since I've had to look away from the screen during an animated show. I watched Attack on Titan without flinching, and this episode came out except for the Armin scene. But
no, not the Armin scene. Remember the
the rumbling first started and the kids.
Nope, not that one. Don't you remember when Historia's dad turned into
I almost
that?
threw up.
Yeah, that one was gross.
But yeah, suffice it to say that something bad went down in the transmutation, and
yeah,
it
was honestly, like, in a way, it reminded me of the Nina episode. Let's be honest. Like, it was not quite as dark, but
no, but I think it ended
close-ish.
very, very sweetly,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it just kind of had almost an open ending, but it was like, oh, okay, some people do things differently than Ed and Al, and they just kind of learned something new. The second one was called Simple People, and I think that one was my favorite, and it was just
Really?
I think so. It was just kind of cute. It was it focused around mainly Winry and Riza, but like Ed and Al get into trouble. Ed breaks his automail. They go to Winry, but they try to appease her by like every time they have to go home, they're in the city and they'll buy her an earring, like a set of earrings. And so every time they go home, she's like, "Guys, look, I'm wearing the earrings you got me." And it's like, "Great. It's broken again. Can you fix it?" And she starts to get mad, about to throw a wrench at him. He's like, "We brought you another pair."
So my favorite part is that she keeps piercing her ears.
Yeah, that's why she has so many. She's like, "I want to wear them all at the same time."
It's so cute.
Yeah. And like the thing with Riza is that she started growing her hair out. And so Winry and Riza both admit that they were inspired by each other. Like Winry's like, "Oh, I met this lady in the military who had her ears pierced, and I thought it looked cool, so I thought I'd do mine." And Riza was like, "And I met a little girl over in Risenbull, and her hair was long, and I thought it might be nice to try it out."
Yes. And then the next one was my favorite.
I kind of figured.
It was The Tale of Teacher, and it was basically Izumi's time that she spent in the mountains of Briggs, and it was amazing.
And she got to meet Sig at the end, and that is the only meet cute that matters.
It was
You dropped your bear.
Yes, it was great. It's basically her being a strong woman surviving in the woods and beating up the Brig scouts, and it was great. Yes, and then the meet cute with Sig at the end.
Sorry. One line is running through my head.
Can't die yet. I'm still a virgin.
I can't die until I'm experienced passion.
That was great.
I love how, like, as soon as she's like, "I haven't fallen in love yet, I can't die," it's like she gets off the mountain, it's like, "There's Sig. Oh, look at that, a man."
Yes, but they are the perfect match.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah. And then the last OVA is about Roy and Hughes in the
academy
training. Yeah, in the academy. And it's basically them becoming friends and then also making friends with the Ishvalan, and then the last like couple minutes is them in the Ishvalan war, and they end up having to like kill their friend. And it's really it was sad, but I also really liked it because we like got to see Hughes again. Like we don't get to see him that.
And you got to see him like with Gracia, like when they got back.
Yes. Yes, it was very cute.
Him. I miss him so much.
Oh, he was the best. Yeah, so they were great, and I would definitely, if you get the chance to watch them, definitely do that.
Yep. Okay, I will briefly mention these because there's kind of a lot of them, but there's also light novels of Full Metal Alchemist, and I've read a good amount of them, but not all of them yet. I hope to to read all of them someday. But basically, all of the novels cover just a little bit of Ed and Elle's journey or characters that they meet along the way, like Roy, or childhood friends that we've never known in Risenbull. So it could be from when they were kids or currently or right before Ed takes his exam to be a state alchemist, stuff like that. Really fun. Um, Add some character development and some world building. So I would say check them out. And like I said, one of them got animated into the original FMA, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, moving on to bloopers, one of the most enjoyable things.
Yes,
If
we
not slightly
discovered these.
inappropriate.
Yes, we discovered these like right after we finished Brotherhood the first time. They are so amazing. They're basically like the English voice actors, like just either making mistakes or just like being funny in the booth, and it is
Oh
so great. We
man.
will definitely add it to our YouTube channel
Playlists
so you
on YouTube,
can
yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was funny how Chris Sabat, who plays Armstrong, was the one who flubbed the most. He's just like,
Hmm.
oh, darn it. And it's great because, Armstrong, you don't really have to lip match. You have to match the mustache moving up and down. So he's just like, oh, start again.
Yeah, it was so good. And we just wanted to briefly mention our favorite ones. Um my favorite is when Buccaneer dies and he's like um talking he's giving his little speech and it's the camera's like moving to the sky instead of like saying whatever he said. He like quotes the song from the Muppets, the is that Rainbow Connection?
Yeah.
He's like, someday we'll find it. The Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. And it's
He
just like,
timed it perfectly
yeah,
because
it's
his
so
hand
perfect.
fell as he said, and me.
Yes.
Uh, and my favorite was one of the inappropriate ones, unfortunately, but Granny said she's making stew for dinner tonight. Heck yeah!
He doesn't
Changed
say
one of
heck
the
though.
words.
Yes. It's so funny because I say that like
Heck
all the time to
yeah!
myself now when I'm
Well,
like
and I start
excited.
smiling,
Yeah.
but
Heck yeah.
it just catches you off guard because it's sweet little Al, and he just blurts the F-bomb. So I kind of lost it the first time we watched that. But I'm also gonna give an honorable mention to one that makes me giggle, and that's when um they confront Envy in the woods and he's turned himself into a dog. It's like a talking dog, and he just goes, "That's right, Ruby, Ruby, Roo." I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan, so like the voice actors doing that just made my day.
Yeah, it was so great. And there's a ton of hilarious ones that
Yeah.
definitely I would recommend watching. Um, they're great. All
Hailing.
right.
Or yeah, it was
Oh.
hailing. How you doing?
No, I like I like um I also when they're in the tunnel searching for a father and Rizo's like, "Oh, how do you know which way to go?" Or
Oh
and
yeah, and
it's
it's like,
like,
I'm a man,
"Oh
I'm good
man,
with
I'm good with
directions.
directions."
Like, how about I push you off the roof and break that new arm you just got back? Yeah, I got an idea, Al. Let's bring Mom back.
Yes.
So good. Okay, last couple of things. So we just had some fun questions to ask each other, and you guys can think along with us.
Yes, maybe we'll ask them on our
Oh yeah.
Instagram.
So the first one, in fiction, or if you know anyone in real life, I don't know, who would be best friends with Ed and Al?
Are you asking me?
Well, we can both answer, but
Okay.
yeah, I got some answers too.
I know, right? Like there's lots of answers. Um, and we've talked about this a lot. I know he would be friends. Ed would be friends with Senku for sure.
For sure. Senku
Um,
and Chrome,
yep, both of them. They'd be
Phineas
great.
and Ferb,
Oh, yes.
yeah. Uh, Kaguya and Shirogane.
Hmm. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Hmm. book character, Leo from Heroes of
Oh,
Olympus.
yes.
Yeah, probably Percy
Yeah.
too. They kind of have the same sense of humor.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
And Annabeth.
yeah, they would fit in so well.
Oh
Actually,
yeah.
do you think they would both be in the Hephaestus cabin?
I think Winry would be in Hephaestus and they would be in
Mm.
Athena.
Ooh. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally. I can totally see Winry.
All right. And what was your favorite episode of Brotherhood?
Hmm. I think the one I wish this whole thing was in one episode, but like when Ed gets his arm back, I think is my favorite
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
But then I
Yeah.
also like when he's like punching father, which is like
Right after.
right
Yeah. Yeah.
after. But so that I think it's episode 62 is my favorite.
Yeah. I like the ending too, and I would say the last episode because I just really love the full metal heart quote.
Hmm.
But I think the part that got me most excited in the episode I'm gonna have to go with is when they were trapped in Gluttony's stomach and we see Al at the gate for the first time. And that's just like, I'm coming
Hmm.
back for you.
Yes.
Just you wait. It's like, oh
Yep.
yes, I will wait. And I will wait with bated breath because that is so cool.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll go with that one right in the middle of the series.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the last question. So we're gonna answer it for ourselves and for each other. What characters we're most similar to? I know we took a quiz way back when, but that quiz kind of stunk. So
Yes. Okay, I should have thought about this beforehand. You're gonna have to give me a second. I know we've talked about this, but now like
I
we
think
we
there are
got we
multiple
got we got time to think.
characters.
So.
Yeah, I think there are multiple characters that you could mix into me
Hmm.
to make my personality, but Al comes to mind first and foremost because I'm and I see you nodding.
That's what I was gonna say for you. I was gonna say Al.
Yeah, because, well, first of all, I like cats, and if I had a suit of armor, I'd be taking in stray kitties too.
Mm,
Um, but just kind of like I'm more non-confrontational, and like I suppose if I had to, I could come to blows with somebody and maybe win, depending on the situation. But I'm more of like I'm the middle child in my family. I'm the peacemaker.
yeah, I agree. I also think you're definitely Al because you're like act all sweet, but then when you then when you need to, the claws come out, and and you care about your family a lot
Aw,
and your friends. So
thank you. I am proud to be an Alphonse, you know?
yes.
And I also like stew.
I do not like stew. You're
Uh-huh.
like Ed in that you don't like milk.
Oh, that's
So.
right. Yeah, and I'm short. I'm short and I don't like milk.
Yeah.
I think some of Ed's humor too. I have to
Yeah, and
admit.
also his strong moral compass too.
Aw, thanks. Because okay, and if I'm going to assess you, I think there's a fair amount of Riza in you because you kind of like no nonsense. Let's keep focused here, people. If you had Mustang next to you, probably like slap him upside the head and be like, "Sir, get to work." Um, but then we can mix a little bit of Ed in there too, like that curiosity and wanting to learn and improve. Um, and some Winry, just kind of knowing what you're about and sticking to it.
Nice. That's funny. I was thinking exactly that, like a mix between Riza and Ed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So perfect. We know each other.
I'm so glad we aligned on
Yeah.
a lot.
You'd be like, actually, I see you more as an envy, so sorry. No, just
Oh, heaven knows I don't have
kidding.
hair like him.
Yeah. Everybody wants his hair.
Yeah, or Ling's. Ling's hair is
Uh,
pretty nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. That was all our stuff for Full Metal. Now we get to talk about what we're doing next.
Yes.
So we are going to do another podcast. We are very excited. Um, so basically we don't have all the details planned yet. In fact, we haven't even started planning. Um, and basically what it's going to be about is we're going to like go each season, we're going to cover like a different show. And in this first season, we're going to cover Dr. Stone, which is another
Get
one of our
excited,
favorites.
people. Yeah, it's so
And I
good.
think kind of our plan right now is again to go episode by episode and break it down, and then also add some we have some fun ideas, some fun extra stuff that we're going to do for it. And basically we want to like cover stories that we think are really good and don't get talked about enough, because like there's a lot of podcasts about like Full Metal and
Titan, you know, the pop culture powerhouses.
yes, and so we want to talk about other shows which are still popular but don't necessarily have a podcast dedicated to them. So we are definitely this season we're going to talk about Dr. Stone, but we'll definitely take suggestions as well of animes to cover, and not we're hoping to not just talk about anime, but like other stories that we really enjoy, like book series, and just
maybe
sprinkle
some
those in there.
movies. Yeah, like bonus episodes could be a movie because we can't do a whole
Yeah.
season of that. But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
And
we're just excited to do this overarching kind of podcast so that we can keep going if we want to. Because I can't imagine trying to create a new podcast each time. It's like, let's cover this show and having to do this all over again.
yes, yes. And so the name of our new podcast is going to be the Anime Iceberg. Basically because there is so much more to talk about. Below
Meg
the
came up with that
surface.
title. She's very happy with it.
I am. It just like I was struck with a moment of inspiration, and it was
Yeah.
like
You told me, and I was like, let's do that. I don't have anything.
Yes. And we are planning on releasing the first episode on April 1st, and that is not a joke. We will be releasing it on April 1st.
Yeah, it also has significance for Dr. Stone, but that's a story for when we actually release it.
Yes. Yeah. So, very excited. We hope you will listen. We will probably post like a trailer on our Full Metal podcast when it gets closer. And then also on our Instagram and probably our YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yes, but we will be creating a new
Yes.
a new Instagram
a new everything.
and do everything for that. Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah.
And we hope you are too.
Yeah, and we just wanted to say thank you again for sticking with us throughout all of Brotherhood and these bonus episodes. It's been a blast, and we hope you enjoy it. And thank you to everyone who gave us encouragement or just commented randomly on a post we made. All that just made us so happy, and this was like the perfect test run of how to podcast.
Yeah, I had a really good time, and yeah, we learned a lot about this about this podcast.
The trial and error and failures.
Yes, and I hope that you could tell that we got better throughout the show. I felt like we did.
I was the editor. I can see how we
yes.
did.
Megan edited all the episodes. Which I know is a lot of work, so thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
And yeah, thank you for listening. We really do appreciate it, and we hope you will check out our new podcast. And yeah, thank you again. We finished.
We did it. Oh, man.
I'm very proud of us.
Yes, me too. And now we have Hearts Made Full Metal.
Yes. Perfect way to
Sure,
end.
sure. Corny, corny.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.